Well, okay. On that note, may I start?
Yes, please.
Good.
Got 12 in the room.
Okay, so welcome everyone to HealthMary's Women Unseen and Unheard webinar. Today's topic is financial confidence unleashed, and my name is Dr. Chinwe Ude. I am the founder and CEO of HealthMary. Many of you who know me may know that I refer to myself as CEO because amidst running a company or like Health Mary with both my doctor hat on and my entrepreneurial hat on, I can't help but approach my journey in that way, making sure that we as a team here at Health Mary is leading and working with grace and kindness at all times. And so, in terms of my background, I'm also quite experienced in terms of health leadership and governance. But tonight is not about anything other than all of us together on this call. Most of us are women coming together to inform ourselves, just to make sure that we remember how powerful we are, as per my previous slide. We all have superpowers, but it's really important that we come together now and again to reconnect with our femininity, with our intelligence, with our knowledge, and with all the information that can potentially be passed on amongst ourselves. And so we are powerful, we are nurturing, we are life force. Many of us are or will at some one day become carers, and we are builders. We have built nations and torn them down, and we are so innately powerful, but somehow in today's world, many of us are waiting to be seen and heard. I hear this all the time. We go to access health, we go to access information and advice. And for some reason, many women come away feeling that they haven't been heard and they haven't been seen. So this webinar is captioned Women Unseen and Unheard, in a way as a paradox to that common narrative these days, because here we will be seen, here we will be heard, and we will see and listen to each other and learn collectively. One of Health Mary's main mission and is to start untangling that narrative and providing these platforms where we can begin to reclaim our voices on all platforms. So, Health Mary's model is based on women thriving together. We're going back to our ancestral model of thriving where, mother to daughter, sister to sister, auntie to niece. Our platform is designed exactly like that because our journeys are made tougher when we try to go it alone. And as a general ethos, we are women who are providing health and wellness advice to each other across all our platforms, both on our app and on our radio show. And tonight, you guys will be thrilled to have two of our Health Mary practitioners and providers. All these women are powerful experts in their fields. And I'm so pleased because these two women are going to help us look at a different kind of health, and that is our financial health. The health bit that most of us have certain preconceived bias about, and I believe this is something that we ought to think about and incorporate in everything we do, especially when we're considering our own health and well-being. Katie Powsey is just as amazing. She is a woman who has had her personal journeys and who has based both on her professional and personal experience, has formulated an interesting strategy for tackling the lifestyle and mindset that often holds some of us back. I will not expand too much on it because she will be sharing that with us tonight. But she's here for a reason. She's here tonight because we all know in this call that a major part of how we consider our financial well-being and our financial health starts with our mindset. And Katie is here to help us with that. After this call, after this webinar, you will all receive additional information about all of our speakers, by the way, so do not worry. Josie Turi is just another incredible woman who has a background in finance. She's a financial advisor at Matthew Woods, and she is truly passionate about female financial literacy. Josie is very, very, very knowledgeable, and she's here today to help unpick some of the strategies that we can all take home today to help us actually start implementing a healthier financial life. And so, without further ado, our agenda today is that Katie is going to start and give us a 10-minute presentation, followed by Josie. And please, while they are presenting, pop your questions in the chat. Once they finish both their presentations, I will read out some of the questions and the two ladies will be able to answer them for us quickly. We will go on a short break, and then when we all come back, we'll all be fed back into breakout rooms. There'll be 2 breakout rooms, one with Katie in it and one with Josie in it. And when we are in the breakout rooms, that gives an opportunity for smaller conversations where you can then ask and interact with our speakers. When we come back from the breakout room, Jess is going to tell you a little bit about HealthMary, and then we're going to have a bit of fun. It's called Fun Cloud before we conclude. So I hope you guys are ready. I hope you've got your glass of wine. Sit back, relax, and let's enjoy. So I'm going to stop sharing now. Katie, take it away.
Hi all, and happy Monday evening to you all. So lovely to be here and so wonderful to see so many of you. Now that you said, Chinwe, about the glass of wine, I'm thinking, oh, I knew there was something missing here, but maybe after. So let me share my screen with you because I would love to share as much as I possibly can with you in the next 10 minutes. So let's just get right to it. And how does mindset play a role with all of this and what mindset has got to do with it all? So we're going to be talking about it because let's face it, we don't actually talk about these things, do we? And that's the first hurdle, is that these conversations are not necessarily happening in the first place. So what we're going to look at today, from the mindset point of view, we're going to look at what the scarcity mindset actually is. Why is it that us as women are very likely to feel this on a much deeper level? How is it holding us back? And I assuming while most of you are here is to actually figure out how do we break free. So what is scarcity mindset? And this probably for many of us, and especially for women, this probably appears in our life in sense of time as well, because this is something that I also coach around time. So how many of us feel there's never enough time, there's never enough hours in a day? And the financial scarcity mindset is very much the same thing. We're coming from the place of fear. We're coming from the place of there not being enough because of many different limiting beliefs we have collected over the years from a very young age. And the usual, I can't spend this on myself because it's the priorities as well. So us putting ourselves at the bottom of the list. But it ultimately, scarcity mindset is just a story, which that is the good news, because if this is not a fact, a story that we've been living by, once we get to understand these stories, we can unpick them and we can create new stories and move forward. Because when we're living in these stories, what happens is we're making financial decisions. We're now talking about finance. We're making financial decisions that are coming out of fear. And when they're coming out of fear or panic, those kind of decisions very often lead to us shrinking ourselves rather than claiming the power that we truly deserve. And so why is it that us as women tend to feel this much deeper? A lot of it is conditioning, and it's historically in families, and I know we're in the 21st century, but I still see it very often that us as women are very often not included in financial decisions, whether it's in a family setting, whether it's a business setting and a professional setting. The other big thing is there is still a significant gender pay gap in many, many industries. Let's not forget the career breaks. So when we take a break to focus on, for example, having maternity leave and spend some time with children. So all these kind of things are kind of putting us a little bit on a back foot. And many of it is, like I said, the limiting beliefs. You know, what are the stories that we grow up with? For me, it's the good old money doesn't grow on trees. Money's root of all evil. And my favorite, all-time favorite one was when my mum, and some of you are probably too young to remember this lady, but my mum used to say, well, I'm not Jackie Onassis, I'm afraid. So yes, very much these kind of beliefs, even though very often they would be meant in a gist, if we grew up with this, that would naturally impact on how we create and what kind of relationship we form with finance and money in general. And it really is holding us back. And there's many different areas where it's holding us back. So first of all, like I said, it's the survival mode. So we have got that constant worry attached to finance. So we're always on the kind of almost on our toes. And so it's that urgency and, like I said, the panic mode. So decisions are coming more from the fear and panic rather than from the clarity and intention. And the biggest one, and I think many of us feel this very often, and especially not necessarily just in business alone, are business owners, but also as part of employment, if we're employees. Thank you. Very often we tend to undervalue ourselves and our skills and what we're capable of. If it's in a business setting as business owners, very often we will undercharge. And if we're in a professional setting where we're perhaps employed, we stay in roles that we perhaps are not really fulfilled in, but we stay there for the safety. And I said safety because we talk about safety, we will be talking about safety shortly. And very often we avoid uncomfortable financial conversations when it comes to negotiations, whether it's price for a project, whether it's for a pay rise. We avoid these conversations. If we come in from the scarcity mindset, it's bringing us back to want to stay safe and playing it safe. And I don't want to rock the boat and make things worse, or, you know, I should be grateful for what I have. So please drop in a chat box if any of these really resonate with you. And one of the biggest ones is the missed opportunities, because very often when we're looking at spending as an expense, as a cost, and we're driven by fear, very often we are held back because that fear of potentially losing money or losing that safety, it's holding us back and stopping us from investing in our own personal development, in our growth, in our well-being, whether it comes to health and nutrition, for example. So these are the missed opportunities, and it's the false economy of us thinking we're keeping it safe by holding on to this money, because it comes back to that scarcity. We're holding on to it so tightly, don't want to let go, that we're missing out on what it could potentially bring us and how it could turn from the scarcity into the abundant. And let's not forget the relationships. It is a stress factor, right? I mean, how many of us do feel stressed on a regular basis in regards to money? not necessarily just us, people in other members in the family, and how it affects those relationships very often. And a big one is the guilt, whether it's for the fact that we spent too much, and for the fact that we do want more, and rightly so, we deserve it. And for putting ourselves first, even in a financial setting. Very often as women, we put ourselves last, not necessarily just in finances. It's also in any other areas of our life, because we have been praised over the years for the fact how giving we are and sensible, and even though those kind of praises may feel quite nice, but those are exactly the type of praises that are keeping us stuck in these beliefs, and the scarcity mindset. So how do we break free? Like with anything else, the first and the most important step is to have a look at those stories, understand what exactly is the story that I've been telling myself around money. What did we grow up hearing about money? So, like I said earlier, for me, it was money doesn't grow on trees, money's root of all evil. And because of these beliefs, I very often self-sabotaged myself, because deep down, I had this belief that people who are wealthy and people who have got lots of money are selfish, are horrible, are mean. And even though I know that that's not the case, that belief is already stuck in there. And unconsciously, I was self-sabotaging myself whenever it came to allowing myself to be powerful with money. A second one is, what are the fears? What is it that are you really afraid of that will happen around money? So think about your almost like the worst case scenario. Very often when we're linking it back to, for example, staying in particular roles or where we don't feel fulfilled for fear of safety, we feel that it's safe to stay where we are. But then all the opportunities that we're missing out on, what is the fear that is holding us back? And very often, the third one is probably the biggest one for many of us. We don't actually truly believe we deserve it. So my question is, what do you believe you deserve financially? Because if our self-worth, if we deep down think, I'm not good enough, I don't do this well enough, and if we're coming from a place I don't deserve it, then we're giving the power away. So I would encourage you and invite you to start with these three, because once we start naming these stories, they start losing power. They really do. And even though awareness alone doesn't fix anything, but it certainly gives us something to start with, so we can start claiming our power back, because once we understand what it is, we can then deal with it. And that's because, like it says here, once we name the story, we don't have to live by it. We get a choice to challenge it and create a new story that is going to bring us power and the worthiness, abundance, and most of all, the confidence around when it comes to money. So I've mentioned safety earlier, and this is for many of us, it is very much about safety. But safety would look different for every single one of us. And one of the most important things is, again, bringing it back to acknowledgement and bringing it back to awareness, understanding our numbers. And I'm pretty sure Josie would be probably going more into details with the financial side of things. But ultimately, it is important to understand our numbers, not coming from a place of judgment, not coming from a place of being self-critical, but simply understand and being fully aware of the situation we're at right now. So we can then start looking at building those habits and looking at ways how we can aim to create our version of that safety. And the one way that it's to do this is understanding what is it we actually want out of life, because the financial goals and our general life goals are very much linked together, because it's very difficult to have financial goals and not necessarily understanding what we want out of life. Because if we want a particular lifestyle, then we can figure out exactly where do we need to be financially to create that safety for us and create the life we want. And like I said, this would be very different for all of us. And we're then going to be able to start shifting our decisions, moving away from fear, because once we are aware of those numbers, we're moving away from making decisions from fear, and we're making decisions based on clarity, because we know where we're going, we know where we are, we know where we need to get to. So those decisions are going to become so much easier. So when I said earlier about us looking at certain spending, especially when it comes to ourselves and treating us as a priority when it comes to financial world, it's about understanding the difference between expenditure and investment. It's very difficult to make a decision on any kind of spending if we don't understand what the goals are, whether it's the life goals or whether it's the financial goals. Once we have those, we can simply look at it. Is this what I'm just about to spend money on? Is this going to grow me? Is this going to help me get closer to my financial goal? If the answer is yes, then it's an investment. If it isn't, then it's an expenditure and it's a cost. So it's also understanding, and it's not to say that we cannot treat ourselves right. Absolutely, because why shouldn't we? But it's all about the awareness. It's all about having the full understanding. This, what I'm spending on, I know exactly it's going to get me to where I need to get to. This is my treat. This is me allowing myself to celebrate myself and reward myself. So that is still important to have that there. And with each single win, I always encourage, for those who did coaching with me, there was no, I encourage rewards, perhaps not excessively, because if the goal is to be more powerful with money, then spending too much money on the treats kind of defeats the object a little bit. So the reward has to be in line with what the goal is, but it is still very vital and very important. And from mindset point of view and creating new habits, I've always found I live by rule of one. I pick one thing to focus on. So I've listed here a couple of different ways. And again, Josie will go probably into much more details with that. But think about one little habit that you can start creating that will make you feel powerful and in control of your finance. So if, for example, you want to start building a little savings pot, the amount that goes in it is completely irrelevant. It's the habit, because it could be 50p a week. It doesn't really matter. It's the habit and it's the feeling that we get afterwards, how we take in control of those finances. Or possibly looking at, of course, cancel one of those ones that I call them draining expenses, and becoming aware, first step, and second, intentional. Because that's where the power is. As soon as we have the clarity, as soon as we know the intentions, we can claim the power back. And we may not wake up next morning having a bank account that represents our worth at this stage yet, but we can certainly feel powerful, and we can certainly claim the abundance of being abandoned. Sorry. Because once we start facing facts, once we start moving away from the stories, so again, bringing it back to those numbers, once those numbers will help us challenge those stories we've been telling ourselves. Because very often you will find that you're doing much better than what you think you are. But very often we're too scared to face it because we think that it might not be what we want to see. But it's no different. So ladies, if, for example, if we're on the weight loss journey, if I was to compare it to health goals, no one ever sets out to lose weight until they do their weight check-in first to see where they're at, because otherwise you'd never be able to see the progress. So this is exactly the same. This is no different. So the moment we're ready to face the facts and we really look at our actual money, what's going in, what's going out, And we're able to track this and we start spotting certain patterns, then we can start building those powerful habits and start making a change, which will automatically increase the confidence levels up. And like I said, that we start building the power because it's all about the power, right? It's all about having the control rather than being run by fear and be run by emotions and guilt, or the emotional spending. So just to kind of wrap it up, when we're talking about figures, think about your life goals. So what is the income that you would need to have for the life you want? Link those two together. And once you've done that, you can from that point start thinking about that safety zone, the savings, how much savings would you need to have? What is enough for you to have so you can have those couple of guilt-free treats? And then it's going to stop feeling like the money is something that we never ever achieve, never get to, because once we're clear on the end goal, once we start watching the progress penny by penny and the power that it brings, it really does increase our confidence. So yes, financial scarcity, it's not our personal flaw. So let's just say it out for what it is. It's not that we're doing something wrong. It's not that why can't I get the hang of this? Why can't I be like so and so? It's not our personal flaw. It's just an inherited story. And once we get to understand what that story is, we can absolutely rewrite it and starting from very small but powerful shifts, because they may be small, but I can promise you the power in those small shifts is just phenomenal. And because, ladies, I think it's all ladies. Do we have any men up here? I don't want to single anybody out, but we do deserve the financial safety. We do deserve options. And we certainly deserve a relationship that reflects our value and not our fears. So that would be it from me. I'm not too sure. Hopefully I didn't run over.
It's all right, Kate. I mean, this was just amazing. I think you pretty much captured what a lot of us feel, that fear that we might be overreaching, that fear that this change, the transition that is required to become more financially fluid and free is unattainable. And so thank you so much. I think this was an incredible talk. Thanks, Katie. I appreciate this. Thank you. Josie, if you share your slide now.
Hello, everybody. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we got you. Yeah.
Thank you. Perfect. We tested the tech before, but you never know. So I'm Josie. I want to thank Katie because exactly as just to echo what Chinwe said, it was absolutely amazing. Everyone feels that way sooner or later, and it is something inherited. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And actually, I think, I don't know in how many details we're going to be able to go today. My session will be slightly different, but we really linked with what Katie just said. So I'm a very practical person, and I feel that, I think actually it links very well because now we heard how we feel, what we could do, and actually the sum up that Katie did really, really lead to my session because I brought you a case study. If I will be able to change slide, we'll see. Let's try. There we go. I brought you a very simple case study because I wanted to keep it as generic and relatable as possible. Because as Katie said, there is no right or wrong answer. It's just what you are trying to achieve, what are identifying the goal that you are having, and we're going to see this in a minute. Most importantly is understanding what is your stage of life, assess your budget, so what are your income and expenditure, and just to give you some tips is you can find budgeting tools almost everywhere. Even if you open a blank Excel spreadsheet, you will have some prompt, so some template there. If you write budget, you can find some that might suit your needs, and I'm confident there are because I used exactly the same. Initially, I started with a very simple piece of paper or an Excel spreadsheet, identifying, okay, these are my income, these are my expenditure. And one thing that I do a lot in my profession is to split the expenditure in 3 main categories. I don't have the slides for this. It just popped in my mind while Katie was talking. But is essential spending, lifestyle, and discretionary. Essential, of course, they are bills, sadly. Bills, I don't know if you have a mortgage, rent, grocery shopping, and all those expenses that you really cannot live without. You need it to maintain your lifestyle, to survive. Whereas lifestyle, there are more those expenses that they are ongoing. They are not as essential, like Netflix subscription. Arguably could be gym, or I don't know, those more, that they are not as mandatory. Well, and discretionary that there are those a little bit more ad hoc expenses, like in my case, holidays. But once you do that, you will be able to identify what are those expenses that you could potentially cut off or pause it for a period as well. Because as we will see in my example, things might change, things shift, circumstances develop as well in life. So sometimes it's not just forget about the Uber delivery on the weekend. It's just maybe pause it for a period to make space for something else. So budget, expenses, and goal settings are really important. We'll see goal setting in a second, but just going back to what you see here today, very, very simple case study. Sarah, she's a 30 years old marketing manager. Her net monthly salary is 2,500. Her monthly expenses altogether are £2,000, which means that she has £500 surplus or disposable income on a monthly basis that she can use to suit her needs. Now, I'm a big fan of this. This has been completed, but it's something that we call 6 boxes, pretty much what it says on the tin. So it's nothing but a framework which divide objective into area, which they are essential needs, and more desirable, so the wants. Obviously the time frame, because there we go. This is probably one of the most important things, is understanding the time frame of your objective is key, because not everything can be an investment. If we have, and here I brought you something, again, very simple, and is more to get a feeling of how to use this tool. So if you see on screen, so we have short term, 0 to 5 years, medium, 5 to 10, a long term that is 10 plus. For the purpose of today, let's just pretend that the long term is 20 plus, just to give a little bit of more longer time frame. Now, what I've done is I try to set as realistic and generic objective as possible, because again, there is no one size fits all. What is right for me, it might not be right for another person in this similar situation, because guess what? This is our life. No one should tell us, what we want. And again, like perhaps, and we will see it probably more practical here. So, for instance, let's start with something that is a little bit more generally speaking, same for everybody. So before we can actually start to invest, saving, or start to dream a little as well, the most important things is worrying about safety. So safety first. Before you start to do any planning in life, my advice, and this is probably the only actually tangible piece of advice I'm going to give you, is the emergency fund. You need to have a safety net, which is usually, as a general rule, is a 6 to 9 months worth of expenditure. So if we take Sarah in our example, she's her expenditure, they are £2,000 a month. So which could be anything between 12 to 18. Why is this? Is because if something happen, you don't have any protection in place. Let's say that Sarah breaks an arm tomorrow. She's a marketing manager. She uses her laptop a lot. She might not be able to work for a while or not as much. So that safety net will allow her to look after herself, recover, and go back to work. So this is very paramount. Then what I set as an objective is to save for retirement, because we're all going to get there one day. The reason why I also wrote the workplace pension via salary sacrifice is because if you're an employed person, you most likely you're already doing that. So every employed individual in the UK is subject to auto-enrollment. Excuse me. In this one, it will probably already be accounted for in those expenses because it's taken from your salary, directly from your pay slip. So that one is a saving that you are doing and you might not even realize. Another piece of advice that I'm going to give you is if you don't know about your pension or what are your saving are, do look into that. You'll thank me later. A lot of people that they come to me, they look into this a little bit too late when they are too close to retirement. When we get there, there's very little that we can do. So an early start to at least understanding what are you saving towards is very important. And there is also a massive difference between the state pension and the personal pension. So state pension is something that you're paying through national insurance contribution. Personal pension is taken from your salary and is an additional pension contribution. And they can be accessed at different time frame as well. In fact, if we do look at the long term, essential is Sarah in this case, by the way, apologies the typo, just realized it is there. She would like to retire by age 55 while maintaining her current income, which in this case it was 2,500 net. Why have I brought this in particular is because retirement age for personal pension is 57 now, whereas for state pension is 67. So if Sarah really wants to retire by age 55, she will have to find an additional saving account to be able to cover for the shortfall in those 2 years before she can actually access her personal pension. This was just to show how doing this can really help you visualize your goal, time frame, and how to get there. Now, what I've also done is to, into the desired, obviously essentially is looking after yourself, make sure if something happens, you can provide for yourself. Retirement, that is something we're all going to get at some point. But they're more the wants, something that you can be a little bit more crazy about it, or, a bit more of a dream. For instance, like in the short term, she would like to travel a little bit, £2,000 per annum, to save towards the £2,000 per annum for holidays. But at the same time, she's thinking she doesn't want to live with mom and dad forever, or maybe she doesn't want to rent forever. So at the same time, she wants to save for a house deposit. Now, I brought you here an example as well. That's something that I wouldn't necessarily offer or recommend, but it is a great saving that the government offer here in the UK. It's government backed. And there are lots of providers that do offer these. I would recommend to shop around and see what's out there. It's called the Lifetime ISA, Lifetime Investment Saving Account. And if the maximum you can put per annum is 4,000, and the government will give you a 25% on top of your investment. So if you do put the maximum, which is 4,000, the government will top it with another extra £1,000. The return is amazing. However, there is a lot, obviously in the time frame we got, I can't really delve into too many details, but there are a lot of things, the criteria to respect. You need to be a first-time buyer. You can only have one, and it can only be used to buy a house. So you cannot use it for retirement. And there are also time age where you can open this. But great structure is just an example to how you could think, okay, this is a short-term goal. What can I do? There is this option. Going back to the emergency fund, that's something that is a need. And in the short term, nothing should be invested for less than 5 years. So that one, it could be placed into a deposit account, which gives you a return at least above inflation, guaranteed return, so not invested. And this is the way to think. Then if we look at the medium term, we can see that the house deposit became a little bit more of a need than a want, because now Sarah is 35, is approaching the 36 years old. She probably did what I did, which was panic a little. Going back to Katie conversation, that sometimes some action might be led a little bit by fear, but it's actually, I'm just joking. But anyway, so as the desired need becomes an essential, now obviously Sarah is looking into that a little bit more, and it was all, honestly, it was more to show how the objective evolve in time. So it doesn't mean that if it was a desired objective in the past cannot become an essential. And this is just to show how things evolve in life. That £2,000 per annum for holidays now is not enough anymore for Sarah. She realized that, life is one, maybe. She want to travel more. She want to take 1 year career break for travel, or maybe to have a family, to have a baby. But she doesn't want to worry too much about it. So now she knows she want to save 30,000 for her freedom fund. But this again, for instance, she's earning more now as she's increasing her pension contribution. Again, I kept it quite generically for a reason, and it was more something I wanted to trigger that thought in your mind, girls. What are my objectives? How do I envision my life in the long term, in the medium term? Once you do this, then we can discuss actually investment and structure, because there are several out there. That said, and conscious that I can talk forever, I just want to show you something else, which is literally, this is a tangible illustration. And I thought, if we think about it, £500 a month is not something that everyone can save, and maybe not right away as well. So what I did was, what if Sarah, for the first 10 years, she can actually only invest £500 a year? Because, she put a little bit into the saving account for her emergency fund, a little bit into the holiday pot. So what's happening? What I did was, I wanted to show you the power of compounding interest against the simple interest. So if she's investing £500 per annum, in 10 years, instead of having £5,000, she will have 7,500-ish. Obviously, return are not guaranteed, and I used an interest rate of 5%, which is quite conservative. But again, not guaranteed, but just to show how money works. So instead, the interest, instead of being calculated always on the initial amount, which is 500, is calculated on the latest amount. So 5% of 525 is 1,076, and so on and so on and so on. But then again, she's earning more in her 40s, so now she can actually, she has the emergency fund, she has all the first goal achieved. So now she can actually invest £6,000. And again, for the sake of this example, I just assumed she's investing everything into one structure, just to show you what's happening in 9, 10, and 20 years. From 14,000, she could get over 90, over 200, over 4. And again, is assuming that the growth is continuous, there are no withdrawal, and the 6,000 investment is kept on an annual basis rather than, so it's 6,000 per annum every year. But this is just to show how your pot can grow. During the radio show with Chinwe, we also touched on junior pension. If an individual can afford to contribute so in a junior pension for non-taxpayer, each individual can contribute 2,880 net or 3,600 gross. For ease of this exercise, I kept a round number of 2,500. Let's assume someone can contribute that for their child. And again, we're assuming every year 2,500. This is what by age 30, let's say this was baby Sarah. By the time she's 30, she could already start with a pension pot or a junior ISA pot of 134,000. Junior ISA can be open and kept until 18 years old. Thereafter, from as a child, as a junior ISA, thereafter it becomes an adult ISA. Just to clarify, but just to show. And again, if Sarah then she started with this junior pension and she started to contribute her own, this is what it could look like. Again, it's not guaranteed, but show the value of doing this from an early age as well. And obviously, I have to vouch for myself and for all the advisors out there, is to show that by identifying those objectives, working with an advisor, you could be really better off than do it yourself. There is a lot of free advice out there as well from the Money Helper, which you could gather as well. But my piece of advice for you today is to start simple: budget, expenses, and goal setting. And then if you have any question, please, by all means, reach out and I will be happy to address it.
Thank you so much, Josie. That was really, really helpful. I think it's just incredible when you can visualize it, isn't it? Putting on that 6-box thing. After our radio show and that you gave me that 6-box, the 6 boxes, I actually went and redid all of my financial goals, and it was just so refreshing. There's so much clarity when you put pen to paper on these things. We've got a question at the top, which says, is it possible to go the other way to how we were brought up with money? For example, money doesn't grow on trees was one I heard lots. I now find myself treating myself a lot, even if on meaningless things. Sorry, I can't get my words out today. Even if on meaningless things. But I think what the attendee is trying to say there is that, that mindset can also swing you the other way into feeling like, a bit, like you have to then overspend. Katie, what do you think? You're on mute.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And it then comes back to having the clarity. So it comes back to understanding what is it the life that we want to have? What's the vision for the life?
Yeah.
What's the finance background that's going to support that life? So when we do find ourselves in that position that we start falling into the habit of perhaps treating ourselves a little bit too much, it's once we have that clarity on that goal, it becomes easier to make that decision and make an informed decision. So we still end up perhaps treating ourselves, but maybe and again, this is the small shifts, right? So rather than trying to change everything and move away from spending money on treating yourself, it could be more looking at the first thing that we can do is, well, how about I set myself a budget that I will stick to, whether it's weekly or monthly. So you're allowing yourself to treat yourself. So you still have got that feeling, I'm treating myself to something, but it's controlled because we're talking about financial power. So as long as the decisions we are making are coming from understanding the full consequences of both sides, yes, we've got that satisfaction. It's the kind of short-term pleasure versus long-term goal, right? And it's very much linked into what Josie was talking about, the long term. So I'm not saying let's not treat ourselves, but yes, have a budget in place that allows you to have these kind of treats without feeling guilty or without feeling like I'm spending too much. So yeah, that would be probably my best bit of advice. And in terms of the mindset, like I said, it's just coming back to those stories. What are those stories that are possibly keeping you in that habit of maybe not having enough when we were younger and now overcompensating? There would be something in the background that's probably created the version of us that we are right now.
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the incredible things is that slide from Josie, demonstrating the power of compound interest, and it's not something like plucked out from a fairy tale, guys. It is real, like literally putting out that small amount every time. I think for me, one of my main fears is my children, the extension. Well, that's my safety trigger, right? Are they safe? Are they going to be safe, when they're older? And just, being able to put out this tiny amount every month on a junior a SIP or junior pension scheme looks like that's going to be quite an incredible, powerful thing for them, so that when they are now 30, then they've got a lovely springboard moving forward. So that demonstration is really powerful, Josie, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. I think it completely demystifies and normalizes the fact that we can all do this. We can all do this, and I hope that is one thing that everyone on this call takes away today, that we can all do this. We just need to know that it's possible, and then just go ahead and do it. Okay, so we're going to go straight into the breakout room. We can have our break while we're breaking out in the rooms, and Naomi is going to automatically assign everyone into the rooms, and we'll catch up in those rooms. Naomi, you got it?
So I'm just assigning people. Just give me a second.
Everybody before. I think I might have returned everybody too soon.
No, I think it was right.
It was right, wasn't it?
Yeah, because it said at the top remaining
Yes,
tasks.
yeah.
You've done it right, don't worry.
Yeah. Essie, what was your question? You can ask it while we wait for the others to join us.
Okay, thank you. Really useful session. So my question is about the emergency fund. The first part of the question is, do you include all expenses, so essential, and when I say lifestyle, I'm thinking about things that involve expenses to do with the kids, so like swimming lessons, piano lessons, that kind of thing? Or is it just the essential expenses? That was my first question. And then my second question was, how do you go about it? Do you then say you save a certain percentage of one's monthly expenses every month, and then you hopefully break that down until you're able to save up to 9 months, 6 to 9 months worth? Thank you.
I would say that the essential are paramount. That's absolutely, that's something you should save for. So the essential for sure. And then when you talk about, things for the kids, I guess I would probably, I don't have kids myself, so this is more a question for a mom, but would you really feel to let them stop to do that? Maybe if they do lots of sport, maybe then you could consider to include two. Let's say they do 4 sports for 4 sessions a week. Maybe you could consider to include the 2 into the essential and 2 into more lifestyle. But there again, and it also there is another thing as well. With time and situation changing, the kids grow up, they go to university, so everything really change. So the rule is flexible.
And hopefully they start working and paying you. Just
I didn't want to say, but yeah, hopefully.
yeah, that's one point. Yeah. Jess, did you want to go straight into your presentation, if that's
Yeah,
okay? Yeah.
yeah,
So, guys, we're going to, in a way, just winding down now. Jess is going to show us a couple of things about HealthMary, and this is really important because, from 2026, there's loads coming out on the app, as well as just generally in all of our platforms, and I think it will be really useful just staying true to our mission and our brand, which is to power, inform, and enhance all of our journeys, when in all domains. Oh my God, I can't get my words out today. I'm so sorry, guys.
Okay. Can everyone see my screen? Is that all right for
Yes, we
everyone?
can see your screen, Jess. Take it away, please.
So, who am I? I am the social media manager and content creator for HealthMary, but I've got way more involved, and I have the privilege to promote the business values that I'm passionate about, such as female empowerment and fixing issues that we face in women's healthcare and being more open with conversations. So the HealthMary app is a health and wellness platform which connects female practitioners to you and provides a safe and empowering place to not only seek advice with no judgment, but it gets you involved in a strong community of ladies in the health and wellness industry. So we have absolutely everyone. Obviously, today we've talked to financial experts, but we also have menopause experts. I can't get my words out either. Skin experts, period experts. There's absolutely everybody on there. So you can join as either a user or a practitioner. So for a user, which I'm guessing most people on here would be, you connect directly with incredible health and wellness experts. You'll get access to easy appointments with no long wait times. You learn in a safe space for women, because I think we can all agree with social media these days, there's a million different pieces of information, and there's so many people telling you what to do and what not to do. And again, social media isn't always the nicest place. But HealthMary, we want to get rid of that, and it's just a place for women to connect to each other. And also there's an explore page, so we've got reels and tips and tricks from everyone on there and all the practitioners. And then you can also join as a practitioner. So with this, you showcase your professional profile. You can start building trust with users. It's an easy setup. For availability, you can receive client booking requests through the app. You can post health tips and video content and network and collaborate with people just like you. So that's the main summary of the app itself. We actually have HealthMary 2.0 coming, so it's still in the works, but there's going to be loads of exciting new things coming your way to make it the best experience possible. So this is what the app looks like at the moment. So we have the Discover page there on the left, where you can discover the practitioners. Like I said, it's got everything: aesthetics, doctors, maternity, sleeping. So there really is something for everybody. And then here we've got Francois as an example. This is what it would look like if you were going to book with a practitioner. So you can request an appointment, find out about them, qualifications, their rates, where they're based. And then on the right is the explore page. So it's a bit like reels. You just scroll down and there's tips and tricks from absolutely everyone. And it's just a lovely place to set up your business or join as a user. And then today, obviously, we wanted to address the financial side of health, because health is wealth. And I think a lot of people think of health as a physical thing, but it's not always physical. If you're not looking after yourself financially, it can cause many other problems like physical and mental health. So obviously women do not talk about money as much as men. It's a taboo and it's something that we want to break. We've been programmed to see it as this taboo subject. That HealthMary do not just want to help women improve their physical and mental health. We want to empower and teach women about the financial aspect of life and have a good power mentality around money, because we deserve it just as much as men. We're the only healthcare app that actually has financial literacy, and we want this segment to specifically help women because it is such an essential in life. And I mean, I can already say, someone who's 22 years old, I've just started my financial journey really, earning for myself. And I think without HealthMary, for me, it would be a really difficult thing to navigate. I mean, things that Josie and Katie talked about today, I would have absolutely no idea about. It's not taught at school, especially to women. So I think it's just a brilliant space for someone who's 20 to 80 years old just to find out about. So just to remember, financial and physical health are not mutually exclusive. They do come hand in hand. So here, I'll leave this up for a second. If you want to download our app, it's free to join. You can scan the QR code. I'm sure we can put the QR code somewhere else as well, actually. And you can download and get set up today. So I'll make sure that there's links in emails to the app, but you can just search it up on the App Store if not. And then we have something else really exciting. We have HealthMary on Air, which I think has only been out for a couple of months, actually. And Josie and Katie have both been guests on episodes. So it's on the Chinwe Radio, 100.2 FM or 95.1 FM. Obviously, that's very hard to remember. So you can catch us on Spotify as well, because we put all our episodes out that day. We're on every single Monday from 11 to 12. And we, again, just like HealthMary, we discuss absolutely everything, and we're excited to have guests on in the future. We've got a lot of new things coming and a lot of new things in store, and we live stream on Instagram. So if you wanted to watch it live, you can put in your questions there. And I mean, we all love doing it, and it's such a great addition to HealthMary. So yeah, that's everything from me. And thank you so much, Josie and Katie, for that advice. It was incredible. I'll stop sharing now.
Thank you, Jess. So let's wrap up with our little fun cloud game. Naomi?
Yes, everyone. So
this is important because sorry, Naomi. So this bit is really going to test what we've learned today and perhaps make us kind of think and practice, especially around what Katie just talked about. So let's go for it. We've got about 5 minutes left, so let's do it.
Excellent. Thanks, Chinwe. So I've basically dropped a link into the chat. So I'm just going to share my screen. Just give me a second.
So if you go to the chat, there's a link there. And if you click on the link, it's a little cloud quiz. So people can just have a look at the questions as Naomi is presenting them, and then we can have fun answering them. So
let me know when you can see the questions, please.
We can see the questions now.
Excellent.
So just hang on, I'm just going to the chat. Just a sec. Wait for me. Okay, I'm just going to copy it again and put it top of the chat so people can easily find it as well. It's the Menti app question. Okay.
Are we ready?
Yes, let's do this.
Okay, so the first question is, give me a second. If your current financial mindset was a single word, what would it be? Oh, I can see some coming through. Safety, anxiety, power. Confident. Fair. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next question. Where do you get most of your financial advice? For example, is it Instagram? Is it TikTok? I love that. My mom. Friends.
Josie, is that Jess, is that you?
I'm sure it's ChatGPT. Wow. Okay.
ChatGPT. Well, okay. Hadn't thought
Oh,
about
this
that
is
before.
colleagues. Someone said it don't. Professionally, don't know.
Friends. Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna move on now. What's the first word you think of when you hear the word budget?
Chineke.
I love that. Oh, scared. Yeah, definitely. Plan. Okay. Clarity. Frightened. Yeah. Reluctant. Brilliant. Okay, I'm gonna move on now. If you won the lottery, what would you do first? I know what I would do. Oh, that's so sweet.
While people are answering this, usually people who win the lottery are the first one to become then bankrupt, completely
The
unable
poor
to put
afterwards. Yeah.
Take a
Because
long
actually
holiday.
that's about it.
Save, pay off mortgage. Mine is sleep. I'm going to sleep for a very long time.
In other words, quit your job.
Yeah. Okay, I'm moving on now. Okay, if you could time travel to give your past self money advice, what would you say? Yeah, that's a good one. Be less generous. Okay. Budget but not good at it. Save money every month. Okay. Don't spend on silly things. Absolutely. Start early. Okay. Next one. What's the most valuable thing money can buy for you? Yes, time with family, freedom, absolutely. Stability, rest, opportunities, absolutely. Okay, so we need money then. Next one. How often do you check your bank account? Do you do that weekly, daily, monthly, or you don't check at all? Or you try to avoid checking? Avoid, yeah, that's me. On a needs basis. Weekly, every couple of days. Okay. Avoid when you spent a lot. Okay, next slide. When viewing content from a health provider, which do you prefer? Do you prefer it to come as a video reel or to come as still images? So just type in reel or images as your answer. Okay.
Oh, that's my worst nightmare.
See, that's interesting.
Reels are winning.
Yeah, no one said
Okay.
images.
Doesn't matter.
Mm.
Okay.
Oof. Still in the
Right.
business.
I'm gonna get to the next question. So who's the most successful person you know that you would like to have dinner with?
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay.
I would say dead or alive though.
Dead or oh,
Yeah.
there's no point. They're not used to me then.
Well,
Tony Robbins.
maybe someone that's passed away that you wish you basically that was successful that you wish you could have had dinner with. Richard Branson, Tony Robbins. Okay. Steve Butler. Okay.
Mine has reasoning.
Audrey Hepburn. Yeah.
Who's Hope? Hope. That's spell. I hope I spelled it. Oh, is that? Are you trying?
Hope who? Okay.
Someone said Hope there. Tony Robbins. Who's Tony Robbins?
Oh,
don't. Yeah. Okay. I'll research. I'll Google.
Yeah. Okay, great. I'm going to move on to the next one now. In one word, what mindset do you wish you had towards money? Carefree, love, better than I do now, risk-taking. Oh, thanks, guys. That's really interesting. I think that's the last question, so I'm just gonna understanding. Okay. Any more? Okay, I'm going to end the presentation. Stop sharing.
That is really cool. That is so interesting. I think one of the reasons we wanted to play this game is to just reflect on the fact that we are all on the same journey. We all have the same feelings. Nobody's doing this alone. And that, yeah, hopefully we can start shedding the fact that that we are any different from the next person. There's no shame or blame in all of this. And yes, I'm going to research who Tony Robbins is, and maybe they should go on my list, because you never know, just manifest it and it happens, you know. So guys, I am going to conclude the meeting now. Oh, I should probably put my video on so you can see me go on. Hang on. So yes, I'm going to conclude the meeting now, the webinar now. I want to truly, honestly thank Josie and Katie. Both these women are incredible. They have just amazing knowledge, and I am very, very privileged that they are on HealthMary app. They believed in us, they believe in what we're doing, and they completely align with what our values as on HealthMary. To access them, all you have to do is download the app, go to the discovery side, hit their connect with her button, and it's just gonna pop up, and it's gonna send them your email and your contact details. They'll pick that up and they'll call you and say, hi, how can I help? For me, that would be mission accomplished, because we have then achieved what we wanted, isn't it, to have that female connection. I think the beautiful thing about all of this is that these are women who have also walked your shoes, so that nothing, and I mean nothing, you say to them will be alien or shameful or you'll be blamed for. So please do reach out. We're going to do a little lucky draw after the meeting. Katie is offering a 10% discount on her course. She has a course, and we're going to share the link with you. I think it's worth doing. And everybody knows me very well. I would not speak it from my mouth if it wasn't true. So I think it's definitely worth doing. And Josie has sent us a little package from Matthew Woods, which is a lovely budgeting diary, and a copy of the 6 boxes, which everybody's going to get, but that's all going to go in there. And HealthMary, we're going to gift one of our lucky winners a little surprise package, because you guys may know we have a store, an online store. So if you go on our website, click on Enhance, and on there you'll find our online store. So we're going to pick one lovely item, and after we've done the draw, we'll be contacting you directly to send you your lovely package. Let's just go out there, ladies. The world thinks that we are, and we often walk around feeling unseen and unheard. But just know this: we are a life force, we're powerful, and we can literally, make or break nations. Let's go there with confidence. Let's go there feeling more connected, and always, always know that across all of our platforms, our app, our radio show, and even directly with all of our practitioners and providers on HealthMary, you have a sister, you have a friend that you can always reach out to. Thank you, everyone, and good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.